Welcome to episode 3 of my Koufuku Graffiti cook-through. The first recipe we'll be making from episode 3 will be Takenoko Gohan, or known as bamboo rice. We're going to start off by making some homemade dashi broth. Add 1.5 cups of water to a small pot and bring it to a boil. Once the water is at a rolling boil, add in 1 cup of packed bonito flakes. Let this simmer for about 30 seconds, then remove from heat. Move the pot off of the burner it was just on, cover with a lid, and let it sit for 10 minutes. Then strain the dashi through a metal sieve into a measuring cup. Use a silicone spatula to help squeeze out all the excess dashi. To the dashi, add in 2 tablespoons of sake, 2 tablespoons of light soy sauce, and a ½ teaspoon of salt. Stir to combine and set aside. Now let's wash our rice. You'll need 2 cups of short grain white rice. Then you're going to rinse it until the water runs clear. You'll need to rinse the rice about 3 times for the water to be clear. I'm using a sieve today to drain the rice really well because we need it to be as dry as possible. Let the rice continue to drain as you prepare the rest of the ingredients. You'll need about 4.5 ounces of bamboo shoots. It's kind of difficult to find fresh bamboo shoots around here, so I usually go for the pre-packaged version. They usually come pre-cleaned, pre-boiled, and ready to go. The only prep you really need to do is to cut it into the shape and size you desire, and also wash out the white gritty parts that are inside the bamboo if you don't like it. It's going to look and feel like sand, but I think it's just natural calcium or minerals that the bamboo makes on its own. It's 100% edible, but if you don't like how it feels, you can totally just rinse it off. I'm cutting off the bamboo tip so I can save it for some nice garnish. As for the rest of the bamboo pieces, I'm going to cut them into nice square pieces so you can see the edges of the bamboo. And then I'm going to brunoise the rest of the bamboo so I can mix it into the rice. Here's a close-up of that white gritty stuff found inside bamboo shoots. It usually comes off right away with water, but if it's tough, use a toothpick to help scrape it out. Here's a close-up of the square cut I did for the bamboo, and now I'm just cutting the rest into garnish. I like to keep the bamboo tip in a triangle, and then I cut that triangle in half. This way you can see the natural shape of the bamboo. The next ingredient is what I've used before to make inari sushi. It's basically deep-fried tofu pouches called inari age. We're going to squeeze all the liquid out of each piece of tofu skin. Then you're going to cut them into thin strips. The recipe I'm using today is created by Namiko Chen from Just One Cookbook. I also compared her recipe to other Takenoko Gohan recipes online, and honestly, most of it is the exact same ingredients and amounts as well. This recipe is a beloved homemade dish, so most recipes online will be similar if not the same. Here's a close-up of the cut tofu skin, and now we're going to start cooking. In a large clay pot, or known as donabe, add in your prepped rice. Make sure to spread out the rice evenly so it's in a nice even layer at the bottom of the pot. Then add in the dashi cooking liquid you prepared beforehand. Make sure your rice is fully submerged and evenly distributed across the bottom of the pot. Now add in your inari strips, which is the tofu strips you just cut. Make sure you don't mix this into the rice because you want the rice to steam evenly. Then add in all of the bamboo you prepped earlier. Again, make sure you're just layering these on top of each other. You don't want to mix anything together just yet. I'm saving the nicely sliced pieces of bamboo to be my last layer, so when you open the lid, once everything is done, you've got a great presentation. Once you're done layering everything in, turn the heat onto medium-high, cover with a lid, and bring it to a boil. Make sure to keep an eye on it while you wait for it to boil because you don't want anything to burn. It's been about 5 minutes, so I just removed the lid and ta-da, everything is boiling. At this point, it's already smelling so good, and now that it's boiling, we're going to put the lid back on and turn the heat all the way down to as low as it can go and let it cook for 15 minutes. Check your water level halfway through cooking. I just removed the lid and use a chopstick to help push aside some of the rice and bamboo to see how much liquid is left. Here's a close-up so you can see, and yep, I do have liquid left, so we're going to continue to cook until all of that liquid is gone. At this point, I still have about 8 minutes left to cook. Once your 15 minutes are up, remove from heat and leave it alone. Let it steam for about 20 minutes. And now for the reveal. Now that everyone has seen your final presentation, you can go ahead and mix the rice right at the table. This rice smells so good. It smells sweet, earthy, and just the aroma is fantastic. It smells like spring. Some people like to leave it on the stove to reheat before dinner so the bottom of the rice gets a little bit crispy. Look at this beautiful spoonful. Oh, I'm just so happy we got to make it today. It's so comforting and so yummy. And this is honestly a really light dish. It's also such a quick and easy recipe that it's so easy to whip up on a busy weeknight. Here's a look at a plated bowl, and let's get into some tasting notes. The bamboo shoots add a great texture, and the sweetness from the tofu skin creates a really nice balance. Now let's head into the second recipe of the day. Omelette rice is our second recipe of the day, and God, I wish I could make my eggs look like that. But let's get started. This ketchup fried rice recipe is the same recipe I created for the Animal Crossing New Horizons episode I did a while back. So for the ingredients, we're going to need 2 stalks of green onion plus some Chinese sausage. We're going to cut them up into equal-sized bite-sized pieces. Then we're going to get into whisking 2 large eggs just for the rice. We're making a different egg mixture later for the omelet. Now for the ketchup, you're going to need a 1/3 cup of ketchup and then a 1/4 cup of water mixed together until smooth. Then in a large wok or pan, add some oil followed by the sausage and saute the sausage until fully cooked. Add in the green onions and saute till aromatic, then remove. Now add in the rice. I cooked the rice a day in advance so that the rice will be firmer in texture and won't get soggy after adding in the ketchup. Try to be as gentle as possible when you're mixing in the ketchup with the rice so you don't break apart the rice kernels. Then spread out the rice along the pan and let it crisp up for about 5 minutes. Then add in the eggs and whisk until soft curdles form before folding in the rice. Add the sausage and onions back into the rice and finish sauteing. Then add in a dash of ground white pepper to finish the rice. Once everything is combined together, remove the pan from heat. Now for the omelet mixture, you're going to need another 2 large eggs, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, whisk the eggs until smooth, and then add in a 1/4 cup of milk and then mix until just combined. In a preheated medium pan, add some oil and spread it evenly before adding in your egg mixture. Then immediately turn the heat down to low. Once your egg layer is cooked through, start shaping it into an oblong football shape the best that you can. Then flip over onto your rice. Slice your omelet down the center and hopefully it should fall to the sides and make a runny layer, but clearly I overcooked it, so we're going to try again after I get this plated. Now that it's all plated, it's not too bad. It's still runny and soft in the center, but let's see if I can do better. I found a non-stick pan and I chose to use a smaller size with a little bit more oil. You're going to repeat the process the same as before to try to make the omelet. Remember to preheat your pan first, then as soon as you add in the eggs, lower it down to as low as the stove will go. This will require some effort and patience as you're cooking on the lowest heat setting. You'll probably need to cook the eggs about 5 minutes in intervals to make sure the bottom sets before you try to fold it into an omelet. I think I need to invest in a flatter, bigger spatula so I can flip it immediately and not worry about it breaking. Here I'm just trying to reshape the broken parts and hopefully it'll seal itself together since it's still kind of runny. And now you just do your best to shape it still on low heat, and if it's taking too long to cook, you can move the pan off to the side and raise the heat a little bit so it cooks faster. I switched to a bigger spatula to do the final flip, then switch back to my smaller spatula for better control when shaping it. Once you're happy with the shape, remove from heat immediately. Now for the moment of truth. Let's see if it's runny on the inside. It's still a little overcooked. I do like how this one is fluffier though. I'll just have to keep practicing. Now for the full table setup and some beauty shots before we get into tasting. Okay, dig in! Mom's gonna try the omelette rice. I tried to make the egg runny. It was the best I could do. Okay, this is the bamboo rice. How do you like the omelette rice?
It's good.
Is it as good as yours?
It's better.
Oh! What were you gonna say about the omelette?
The egg is very soft.
Ooh, yay! And then this is the bamboo shoot. I like the bamboo.
Yeah.
It's like very spring flavor. Want to switch? You're right, the egg is really velvety. Very soft. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week for episode 4. Bye!